Hello friends, welcome to my channel Unwind Diaries. Here I'd like to share some of my experiences and stories. This is a humble beginning and I hope to make it better as we go along. Today I'd like to talk about my past visits to Kedarnath and my experiences there. This video has been compiled from the photographs I took during those visits. First, a quick note on Kedarnath. As you know, Kedarnath is one of the spiritual pilgrimages in India and is a part of the Char Dhams. More importantly, trek in the Uttarakhand Himalayas is absolutely enjoyable. I had a chance to visit this place two times, once in 1987 and again in 2010. My first visit in 87 was when I had a chance to accompany my father and 90-year-old grandmother. It was her life mission to visit Char Dham. I was 26 and I was very enthusiastic about the visit. The trek began from Gaurikund and we left around 6 a.m. My father and grandmother took the dolly and I decided to trek the 14-kilometer path to the temple. It was one of the most enjoyable treks in my life. And as a student of geology at that time, I was amazed by the rock formations along the way, and it kept me engrossed totally. It took about 3.5 hours to get to the temple, and we returned by evening. After a 28-kilometer trek, took a dip in the hot water springs in Gaurikund, and all the tiredness vanished. Fast forward to 2010, when I was 49, we decided to do this trip with my wife, daughter, and twin boys. Our twin boys turned 16, and a part of the program was to do whitewater rafting in Rishikesh and to experience trek in Kedarnath. Another motivation was to see whether I can do the same trek when I am 49 compared to when I was 26. And I was also curious to see how things would have changed when it compared to 1987. We arrived in Gaurikund. It was so crowded and beyond recognition. My wife decided to take the pony, and while we were waiting to buy the tickets, a life-changing event happened. And this is something that stayed with me for a long time. There were hundreds of horses randomly standing, and for some reason, the metal board, kind of a zinc sheet board at the back of the booking office fell. And the sound really scared all the horses, and they ran helter-skelter in all directions. I was in the middle of the crowd, and I could see the horses charging towards me. I thought I would be run over by them, and at that split second, my goal was to stay standing and not fall. In a few seconds, the horse owners whistled, and they stopped. I managed to escape with a few scratches and stood erect, and I was fine. Children were towards the edge of the wall, and they jumped down a little bit there, and they were okay. One of the horse owners secured and protected my wife, and he kind of made sure that she's okay too. Personally, this was a life-changing event for me, and I thought I was gone. And looking back, I'm grateful to be alive. This event did not dampen our enthusiasm, and children and I decided to trek further. This time it was so crowded, people walking over each other with horses and dollies on the same path, two-way traffic. And we had to focus more on not getting hit by someone rather than enjoying the scenery and the trek. We somehow made it to halfway, and we thought, we'll stop. We'll give up. We gave up and decided to take a horse from there to cover the rest of the journey. And we stayed up there that night, and we returned to Gaurikund the following day. The hot water spring in Gaurikund this time was barely recognizable, and we could not even get close to it due to the crowd. What a difference it was between 1987 and 2010. I think it is a day and night difference. Just the crowd and the amount of people that are traveling there. And of course, it lacked the required infrastructure to handle that type of crowd too. And as you know, the cloudburst in 2013 and the associated floods destroyed the path, and several people lost their lives. And Kedarnath temple is one of those that remained unscathed during the floods. I understand the path has been restored and reconstructed, and more helicopter services are available. I think if I get a chance, I'd visit again, take the helicopter, and probably trek a less crowded part of the mountains there. I think you should visit too when you get a chance. I think the crowd continues to be increasing wherever we go these days. The population is increasing, as we know. But at least the Uttarakhand Himalayas and the people are absolutely enjoyable, and it's worth a visit in your lifetime. So I'll come back with more stories. Thanks for listening.